This is a quilt that I just finished. I thought from now on I will use the import image feature, and I would put a picture of part of the quilt so that if I ever need to come back to this, I can see actually not only the quilting design, but I can also see a picture of the quilt pattern itself. Then there's another group I have, and the reason I have this group on here and what I want to show you is this quilt was rather rough, and there's several places I had to do some manipulating to keep the pattern from folding as it was stitched. And I had to restitch an area like this right here. And this is all one thing now, and I'm going to bring this over and show you where this fits in. It fits in right in this area, like right there. Now, what you have to visualize is that this area here is actually, this is in the end of one repeat, and this is in the next repeat. As I click on this, you can see this bubble and that bubble are these two. Then this one, this one, this one, and this one are these. I decided that the easiest way to take these, took the stitching out in this area, and these three and this one here, and I needed to replace the stitching, restitch it. So I decided that probably the easiest way to do that would be to go and get the geometric circle. Then I could just resize the circle and stitch in each individual circle rather than trying to divide this and have it stitch this part back in. So I did that in each individual circle, and this is the ones I used right here. And you can see each circle is an individual circle, and I just placed them in place on the quilt where that circle would be stitched. And I stitched that out. And I figured that was the easiest way. Well, I got an idea that maybe I could take this and combine all of it and save it. And I did, but I didn't use that to stitch it out. I just played with the pattern to get an idea of how it would work. But since these circles over here are all interconnected in different ways, that was going to be difficult to get that to work. So the idea I had about doing the individual circles was the easiest way to do it. And the reason why I'm going to toggle this as sewn also. Now, you can see how this thing here is. And I'm just going to do a virtual stitch out so to give you an idea of why I didn't do it that way. You see, it's going to start on that circle right there, and it'll go around, and then it jumps over and does that, and then jumps over again and does that one. So there was no easy way that I could make this so continuous. and I may have been able to go in and change the sewing order and all that kind of stuff, but that was too time consuming. So now you can see how this thing is going to react. And it would be tying on, tying off, and all this kind of stuff. So I figured, okay, individual circle would just be the easiest way to do it. So you can see how that would have worked right there. So by placing each circle in place and stitching it was the easiest way to do this. This is that area stitched in, and these are the circles that I had to stitch back in. Now there was a problem in this area with some fullness. Okay, that circle, this one, these three, and that one there. So that is where I had to restitch all of that. It's not perfect. It still has a little place there and another one right there, but that's the way it's going to stay. I'm not going back and do anything to this. That's what happens when you have a quilt top that has many, many problems in it. You do the best you can do, and you don't worry about little things that happen. When they put this out on a bed, that will never be noticed.